Hey, how's it going? It's your main man, Imani Mulaya, and today I'm going to talk about a free fight clock for OBS. You can use this fight clock for different combat sports like boxing, kickboxing, or MMA. The first step is to go to the link in the description below and download the fightclock.zip. When you download the zip file, extract it, and make sure you put it in a permanent location. I have it on my desktop, but make sure you put it somewhere where you won't move it, because if you decide to move it, then it may not work. When you open OBS, make sure you change your settings, either in File Settings or down here the Settings tab. You want to go to Video, and you want to make sure that your base canvas resolution is set to 1920 by 1080. This fight clock is set to 1920 by 1080. The rest of the settings are depending on your stream settings. The fight clock is a script, so we have to import the script in Tools, click Scripts, and at the bottom is a plus sign. That's where you import. Navigate to the fight clock folder that you extracted from the zip file and click on the fightclock.lua file. And the fight clock pops up with the options on the right. As you see, the first option is for the clock. We have regular clock options like start, stop, reset, add minutes, seconds, and also, since this is for a fight clock, you can add round numbers and total rounds. If you click on the drop-down menu and go to Fighters, here's where you can input the fighter information, like the fighters' names and colors in case they're wearing a shirt or a shorts, so you can differentiate the fighters. And you also have the options to scroll between the next and previous fighters, the A fighter on the left, the B fighter on the right. The last selection in the drop-down are the options. This is where you can change the font of the fight clock, put some logos on the fight clock, and most importantly, here's where you create the fight clock. So if you click Create Fight Clock, the fight clock pops up. You can see some of the things going on here. Here's the time, here's the round numbers, here's the total rounds, and here are where the names are going to be. So let's do some modifications. I grab my script window, and let's start with, since we're in options, let's get some logos in there. You can have one logo or you can have multiple logos and they'll scroll during the fight clock. So I'm going to click on the plus sign by logos, add files, and I have some demo media, a few logos. These logos are 16 by 9, meaning they're HD. Whether it's 1920 or 1280, just make sure that they're HD when you import them so that they're sized correctly. If you hit OK, then the logos pop up here, and they scroll through about every 16 seconds. Now if I go back to the script window, I can do some more changes. We'll leave the font for now. The default font is Arial, and it looks pretty good, but you can change that later. Let's go to the fighters. Here you can import the fighter's name. There's only one slot, so you can put their last name and their fight name, and you can select the color. So let's put some stuff in there. So I've imported names and colors for all the fighters. And if I scroll through, I hit Next on A, which is the left, you can see all the fighters on A. And the names will change in size depending on how long the name is. And you can do the same thing for B. You can scroll through the names on B and put the correct fighter in the B slot. And you can see the names and the colors pop up. After that, let's talk about the clock. Of course, you can start the clock and you'll see it go. You can pause it and you can reset it. You can add minutes and that will update. When you reset the clock, the new minutes will be updated. And you can subtract minutes. You can add seconds. But unlike the minutes, the seconds won't update. It'll always round up back to the minutes when you hit reset. Next to that, you have the rounds. So if I click plus rounds, you can scroll through the rounds. And they will loop according to how many total rounds you have. So if you increase the number of total rounds down here, right now it's 3, I'll make it to 5. And it'll go up to 5 rounds and it'll loop. So the last option is the fonts. You can change the font to customize it to your style. If I go back to options and hit select font, simply select the font you like, whether it's on your computer, you can download it. I have a favorite font, and select the size. I'll make this big and hit OK. And it automatically changes all the fonts. So you can customize it to the style of your broadcast. And the last option is to delete the fight clock. You can delete it here, or you can simply go to scenes and delete it. Now that you have a fight clock as an individual scene, let's say if you create a new scene with your cameras or with other things going on, all you have to do is hit plus and import a scene and choose a fight clock, and the fight clock will be in your scene. The last step is to assign hotkeys. So if I go down to settings and click on hotkeys, once again, you're giving tons of options for hotkeys. So I've put all the important hotkeys at the bottom of this first section. So if you go down this first section, before it ends, you'll see all the options you need. Start, reset, add minutes, seconds, everything that was in the script. So I'm going to assign some keys to this. So those are all my keys. And okay. So now I can simply use hotkeys to scroll through the names, to start and stop the clock, to reset the clock, to scroll through the rounds, and also to add more rounds and change the clock, whether it's by minutes or seconds, and reset. So there's a fight clock. This is the beta release, so feel free to download and let me know if you find any issues or if you have any questions. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks again for watching my tutorials.